The fingerprint at her door was not mine. At 6:09 a.m., the building across the street emailed my girlfriend a copy of their access log with my name printed on it like a confession. Subject line, courtesy notice. Body. At 0132, access granted. Door, 3F method, resident fingerprint. User, Hale J. Attached was a polite PDF with a gray header and an image of a fingerprint with lines so crisp they looked proud of themselves. Rhea slid the phone across our kitchen island like a piece of evidence that hated being handled. "That's Ivy's building," she said. Her voice was level. "That's how I knew it mattered. Ivy lives in 3F. There was a version of my life a decade ago in which I would have wanted that sentence to cause more weather than it does now. Rhea runs a tenants clinic that makes landlords ashamed of pretending that broken things cannot be fixed. I manage other people's fires for a living and keep keys for doors that dress up as problems. Between us, embarrassment doesn't get far." "Say it," she said. "Honeysuckle," I said, "and the stupid charm we keep for mornings like this stitch the room back to ours. I didn't touch Ivy's door last night. At 0132 I was horizontal, one leg out of the blanket, with Rhea's hair on my chest and our oscillating fan practicing its small betrayal on the 20th click. At 0141 I said unkind things about the chair's agenda. At 0149 she sat on my apology and showed me better verbs. None of those events involve a lobby scanner. Rhea watched me like a courtroom watches a witness who could be the short version or the long one. "Who sent it?" she asked. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Might be gracious to skip tonight," the text read. "Harbor North will go more smoothly without speeches. Sable at Murmur." Of course it was Sable. Murmur Lab sells shortcuts as strategy. Tonight the commission would vote on Verdant's latest attempt to reclassify 3 floors of hotel rooms as wellness micro-residences, which counts as housing if you own a yoga mat and 2 wellness hashtags. Rhea had written the memo that scared them. I was set to talk about Crown's new Comfort Access package, which pretends consent can be harmonized. A scandal would buy Verdant a month. A scandal with our friend's door would buy them the word dignity. "Jono," Rhea said, already in motion. "Then Ivy. Then whoever signed that PDF with their conscience. Jono lives above a bakery and keeps forensic toys the way other men keep racing bikes." By 6:34 he had the PDF on one screen, the fingerprint image on another, and our building's lobby cam paused on us coming home at 10:57 last night. He zoomed, layered, muttered, and then smiled the way people do when righteous fury gets new information to play with. "Gel print," he said. "See the ridge clarity at the core, better than live skin. Nobody sweats that evenly at 130, and this little notch here," he tapped the left delta. "You don't have it. They cloned you from a glass. Paused your ridge run on a high-res shot from a panel or a press photo, then cleaned the speckles with a filter crown cells as security polish, and printed a gummy finger." "You can do that," Rhea said, "half to the room, half to me, because we live in a city where verbs often arrive before ethics. You can if you have a template, a printer, and a vendor who thinks convenience is a sacrament," Jono said. "Crown's 301s take spoof detection as a paid upgrade. The building across the street bought the base model and a brochure." "Scan logs," Rhea said. He pulled them. "Door 3F recorded 3 tries," he said. Mismatch, the scanner wasn't sure, it chose to be friendly." "Ivy's porch camera," I said, "because suspicion is a habit and the morning wanted proof." Rhea texted Ivy, who answered so fast it felt like relief. 10 minutes later we were on her couch, watching a replay of 0131. A man in a cap and a hoodie, tall the way you can buy in a store, shoulders I don't recognize on my body. In his left hand, a small plastic case the size of a deck of cards, a print of something pale inside. In his right, a phone held low, screen reflecting enough to show the Crown logo and the kind of app interface that says, gently, "We regret more than we admit." He kept his hood up the whole time, Ivy said, braiding her hair like a coping mechanism. "I live here, and I almost called the police on my own address." "Left-handed," Rhea said quietly. "I am stubbornly right-handed," I said. The door opened. The man did not enter. He waited for the bell's courtesy ding, then let it close again. On the third try, his phone pinged. He turned his head a fraction, as if a voice had told him the next part of his job was to look at my friend's camera and hope for scandal. He didn't get it. He got a still Jonah would later print and circle like a teacher grading someone else's lies. "Who benefits?" Ivy asked. "Because Ivy has learned my job by proximity." "Verdant," Rhea said. "Murmur, Crown. Anyone who likes their votes postponed and their salons full." Ivy poured coffee like a cure. "Take this," she said, sliding the still toward us. "And take the scanner. We're upgrading before lunch. The building can afford to be less polite." The chair's aide texted at 9:02, "Don't you dare sit out." Kira texted at 9:07, "Sky Lobby hosting salon. Verdant's script includes phrase asked to defer for privacy. Bring everything. I'll bring the part that hurts me but helps you." We had a morning. We stopped at Sky Lobby because it's rude not to warn a host when you plan to tell their donors how the city works. Kira met us with a folder and a face I liked more than my day had room for. "I sent the courtesy yesterday," she said without being asked. "Not proud. Sable requested advance notice if any personal details might complicate the conversation. My job requires diplomacy. My personality remains inconvenient." She showed us the salon prompts. "What is home if not an amenity?" one card asked as if it wanted to drown. Another, "How can wellness help us redefine residence?" We would later staple them to the part of our kitchen cupboard where ugly receipts go to become cautionary daycare. "The scanner across the street used Crown 301 Basic," Rhea said. "No spoof detection. Your brand sells that liar." Kira nodded like she'd been told she needed to apologize for a cousin at a wedding. "I'll bring the spec sheet," she said. "And I'll bring our bartender if the room needs a witness that last night's rain cared nothing for renderings." We had 40 minutes before the meeting and the kind of adrenaline you only fix one way. Rhea pressed me against our hallway, unbuckled me with the calm of someone who knows what keeps her useful, and climbed onto me. It wasn't obscene. It was a decision to be on the record where it counts. When she said, "Say it," I did, because I trust rituals more than I trust vendors. Honeysuckle. The hearing room was packed like an apology that learned to buy a suit. Verdant's counsel said vibrant, then wellness, then the strange word micro-residences, as if syllables cause shelter. Crown's manager sat with his hands on his knees like a man trying to feel something. Sable leaned against the back wall like a cat who has been kicked off too many pianos and still loves the keys. "Mr. Hale," the chair said. I held up the PDF and the still and the spec sheet. "Last night a building across the street reported that my fingerprint opened a door I didn't touch," I said. "Crown's 301 Basic accepts prints from silicone if you smile at it. Murmur used a glass photo and a gummy finger to make my name a key. A hooded man held a Crown app in a case of gel and posed for a camera he thought would feed your rumor. We aren't postponing. We are not trading a calendar for a parlor trick." Rhea followed, voice steady as a gavel. "Clinic first," she said. "Escrow that lands before a single amenities floor gets a tax break. cameras that go blind within a block of doors that say clinic, and a rule written in stone: no staged intimacy in pursuit of public approvals, biometric or otherwise. Kira stood. Sky Lobby hosts conversations, she said. We don't curate home invasions. Our card readers will not accept basic again. Partner triggered anything is off. Our donors will eat canapes through their distress. Sable did not clap, she watched. I like her worst when she learns. We vote, the chair said. With a little smile that means she already knows what the room remembered. The overlay failed. The ordinance we keep throwing like a rope finally stuck. Escrow lands first, Crown's basic readers banned from any city-subsidized development, partner-triggered comfort and clarity prohibited, no cameras near care, and the petty line I'll be insufferable about for a year. No staged intimacy, including biometric fabrications, as a lobbying tactic. We wrote boring into law. I wanted to hug the minutes. After, in the alley behind the chamber where the air tastes like things rooms forgot to say, Sable leaned against a wall and smiled like she'd just lost handsomely. You ruin a good salon, she told Rhea. Teach me. Bring escrow first, Rhea said. Bring verbs, bring apologies with nouns, otherwise bring silence. Sable looked at me and tilted her head the way she does when she wants to see if I'll be tempted. You could have sat out, she said. I don't like good behavior that sells my neighbors, I said. You like being boring, she said. I like being there, I said, and she had the decency to let that be the end of it. We walked home with our hands in each other's back pockets because rumor enjoys parades and we like to lead ours. The neighborhood thread had pivoted to a photo of a cat that looks like a judge. Someone posted stew. Someone apologized for being entertained by us. We taped the PDF inside the cupboard with the other ugly receipts, lipstick bands that weren't ours, doorbell stills, QR menus with tracking pixels, a napkin from a salon we never attended. Not trophies. Topography. Later, in the blue slice of evening, when the city briefly forgets to invoice you for breathing, Rhea lay across me and put her ear on the part of my chest that answers without words. Do you forgive me for the second before the charm worked? She said. I forgive us both for being human, I said. The point of a good lie is to find out who still blushes. You blush, she said. Only when you cross-examine me like that, I said, and she laughed and told me to be useful in ways grants never penalize. There will be another building, another log, another reader that thinks being friendly is the same as being honest. Crown will publish a page titled Ethics in Access. Murmur will call manipulation culture and invoice someone who loves paying for weather. Verdant will rename a lobby and hire a poet for their apology. And we will wake up again and make the bed a place the city cannot borrow without consent and drag our boring packet to another hearing and tell a room what happened a foot from our door. If a fingerprint on a PDF ever tries to say where I was, ask the person who puts her mouth on the hinge below my collarbone. She keeps better records than any vendor in this town. The rest is just gel.